This is Jack Yeager, and this video is to provide you with some highlights of what we're going to do in the course and also the syllabus information as it relates to the Management for 460 Strategic Management course for this semester. Prior to watching this video, ideally you have already watched the video on my background if you've not already had me in a prior class, and you've watched the video on my teaching approach for this class. And I would recommend that you watch the video on the teaching approach even if you've had me in a prior class, because I have made some changes and I'm hopeful that the changes that I'm making are beneficial. I've tried them out in portions of prior classes and gotten very good feedback, but I just want to make sure you're prepared for how we're going to handle the class. So the overall goal of the class is for students to be able to explain how to successfully manage a business in a competitive environment. That's a big question. Obviously, you've had a number of classes where you've talked about how to successfully do a particular thing inside of the company, but strategic management is really thinking from the perspective of, say, the CEO or the C-suite team, and that they are ultimately responsible to the shareholders, and it's not about doing a specific thing, it's about doing everything that they have to do to succeed. The course is structured with two kind of components. They overlap each other throughout the semester. It's not as though we do one and then do the other. We'll be doing both throughout the semester. The first component is a firm and industry strategic analysis. That sounds like a big thing, and quite frankly I think it's very useful for you, but you'll be doing it sort of piecemeal, if you will, throughout the semester. As part of that, each student should join a group of 3 or 4 other students who will select an industry. So an industry might be like the entertainment industry or the auto industry or electronics or something like that. You can pick whatever industry you want as a group, but as a group you get one industry. So you'll select an industry, and then each student within the group will select one firm in that industry to analyze. And you can't have 2 students in the group having the same firm. We also can't have 2 groups having the same industry in the class, and so all of this will be done on a first-come, first-served basis as relates to your group. Once you have a group and you pick an industry, I will leave it to you to identify one person to email me for your group what the industry is and what firm each student wants in the industry. And whoever gets their email in first for a particular industry, that's who gets that industry. Once you've settled on that, I will be asking you to conduct research on your firm and the industry and respond to prompts. The prompts will be asking you to evaluate the firm's situation and maybe make a recommendation regarding what the firm could do in the future to either improve or maintain its performance in the competitive industry that they're in. And I'm fine with the students within a group collaborating both on the industry analysis and sort of sharing their perspectives from their firm about how it's positioned against the other firms in the industry. But ultimately, each student is responsible for their own analysis. Throughout the semester, I will pose questions that will guide your analysis. And again, these are the prompts that I'm talking about. They'll be discussion prompts, and so I may pose a particular question. For example, what would you consider to be the overall strategy of your firm, or what is one example of a product that your firm has, and what would you say its strategy for that product is and why? So those would be the kinds of questions that I would ask you to discuss, and we'll have those throughout the semester. The idea is that then I will provide you with video lectures, chapter references, internet research suggestions to guide you in developing a response to those prompts. And you should come to class each class time ready to lead a discussion on the assigned prompt as it relates to your firm or industry. I'm not saying that I will call on everybody each time, but I am saying that I will call randomly, and you need to be ready when your turn comes. And that I can't emphasize enough, that feeds directly into your class participation grade. So it's essential that you both be there and you be ready with your discussions. Then, in addition to you discussing these in class, you'll have 3 take-home quizzes throughout the semester where I will basically build the quizzes as a subset of the discussion prompts that you go over in class. And so even though you may not have been called for discussion in class, you still very likely will see the prompt on a quiz and need to be ready for it. The 3 quizzes, quiz 1 will be on product and business level strategies, covering chapters 2, 3, and 5. Quiz 2 will be on the alternative sort of strategies in a different context than just a business. So strategies related to diversification, international business, and entrepreneurial strategies. And that's chapters 6, 7, and 8. And then a quiz on organizational culture, which talks about what it means to be an ambidextrous business, an entrepreneurial business, a learning business, or an ethical business, or all of those, chapters 10, 11, and 12. So in addition to the discussions in class, you'll have those prompts. I always tell my students they should think of the time in class, whether you're leading a discussion or you're contributing to it, that's your opportunity to practice the answer that you think would be a good answer for the quiz. And that way I can give you feedback, and hopefully you can hear from everybody's answers what counts as a good and complete answer for the quiz, and that way you should be very ready come that time. The second component is a CAPSIM online business simulation. In the simulation, you will assume the role of CEO of your own simulated firm and compete against the firms that operate in the same industry as yours, and they may be operated either by other students in the class or by computers. Each simulation takes place in 8 rounds. Each round represents a year, and in each year you have a set of decisions that you have to make related to research and development, marketing, production, finance, human resources, and total quality management. And you have to make those decisions as they relate to 5 different customer segments in your market and up to 8 different products that you are selling into those customer segments. And so there's potentially a lot that you need to decide on in each round of the 8 rounds. And then there's 8 rounds. And you'll work through that simulation 3 times. So the first practice sim will be focusing mostly on familiarizing you with how the sim works, the different decisions you have to make, and how they impact performance. And the second simulation, we will be focusing more on honing your strategies and tactics to maximize your balanced scorecard. I forgot to say that before. The goal of each simulation is for you to outperform your peers as measured by balanced scorecard. So you're going to have to learn what it means to manage a business to a balanced scorecard. And then the third sim will be the competition sim, where you apply what you've learned to maximize your performance. Only the third sim, the competition sim, are you going to be graded based on how you did on your balanced scorecard. For the first 2 sims, you'll be giving brief presentations. It'll be about 5 minutes per student, but every student will give a presentation regarding what you were attempting to do, how it worked out, what issues you encountered, lessons learned, what you'll do for next time. Anyway, you'll be graded on those presentations and the thought and preparation for that, but not necessarily on your balanced scorecard score. However, for the final competition, you will also be graded on your balanced scorecard score. In addition to that, your final exam in the class will utilize an online test provided by CAPSIM that's called CompXM. And it's rather lengthy. It can take up to 4 or 5 hours to complete, and so again, it is online, and you'll have time in advance of the final just to work on it. It just needs to be done by the final. And it'll be similar to the simulations you've done in that part of your grade does depend on your balanced scorecard performance. It's going to differ in a couple of ways. One is it won't be the same industry, won't be the same products, and so you need to be able to take what you learned about how to figure out an industry in the CAPSIM stuff and use those skills in sort of a new situation. And the other thing is that you won't be competing against other students. You'll only be competing against computers. I don't have that on here, but an additional difference to this is that while part of the grade is based on a simulation, another part is based on your ability to answer some questions, and those questions sort of range from very conceptual questions about strategies and so forth to very specific questions like how do you figure out what it will cost you to pay off a bond that you have outstanding. And so those questions, you'll have a set of questions before you do your first round, and then a set of questions after round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4. This particular CompXM simulation only has 4 rounds. So you got to move kind of quick to get yourself in position and do well. All that said, you've got the simulation, you've got the questions. I will be having 2 CompXM quizzes throughout the semester to help you understand what kind of questions you'll encounter on the CompXM and work through those. You'll find that those quizzes they work a little bit differently than maybe what you're used to. I will actually give you the quiz when we're ready to start working on it. And the idea is that you'll start working through trying to figure out your answers and coming to class asking questions. Hey, I couldn't figure out how to do this. Does anybody know how you figure this out or what you should do there? And really, by the time that you turn it in, everybody should do well on those because they've had all that opportunity to work together to figure out what the answer is. So they're less quiz and more of an exercise, but they are graded, and so you don't want to not do them or just sort of do them. They do count as part of your grade. In addition to the discussion on the course itself, I wanted to give you a few notes related to the syllabus. First of those relates to contacting me. In the syllabus, you'll see that there is information on my email address, my office hours, and I believe a office phone number. I don't put my cell number on the syllabus because this syllabus is going to be posted to our internet and be publicly available to everybody in the world, and I don't want everybody to have my cell number. Same thing with this video. This video is going to be posted in a place where everybody could see it, so I'm not going to give you my cell number here. But in class, please remind me to give you my cell number. The reason that I say that is if you want to get hold of me about something and you're fine with me getting back to you within the next school day, then you can email me or leave me a voicemail. However, on my office phone. However, if you need something more urgently than that, generally there's no guarantee that I'll respond on either my school email or go check my office voicemails more than maybe once a day. And so if you need something more pressing, then you need to either text me or call me on my cell phone. And so I do provide that information to students when they ask, and I have no problem providing it in class. I just am not going to post it publicly. As far as my office hours, all of my office hours right now are scheduled in Athens at my office in Athens, which is Ray Hall, room 218. I have office hours on Monday, Thursday from 10 to 11:30, and office hours on Tuesday, Wednesday from 2:30 to 4. Ideally, by staggering it that way, I take care of people that maybe mostly have morning classes or mostly have afternoon classes or have them on Tuesday, Thursdays, or Monday, Wednesdays. I am also available by appointment. Now, if you're taking this course in Beckley, I don't have any defined hours in Beckley, and unfortunately, because of the sort of timing of when I finish my class on Monday in Athens and need to start this class in Beckley, there's only about a half-hour time before class when I could be available to meet with people, but I could meet afterwards with you. Or if you're somebody that can make it down to Athens, then I can certainly do that. But I will try to accommodate your needs in terms of meeting with you outside of hours in Beckley as much as possible. In terms of preparation and class participation, 20% of the course grade is determined by preparation and class participation. And it's if you watch the video on my approach, you'll understand that I have to have your preparation and participation for the class to be successful. That's part of why there's the 20% grade. The way that I approach the grading on this time is a little more structured than maybe I've done in the past. I'm going to work on a demerit system. The demerit is a negative point, and so the more negative points you have, the worse your grade will be. If you have an absence and it's not something that you've made some sort of previous arrangement with me and cleared with me that it's okay, then you will get a demerit, a single demerit for that absence. If you are in class and I call on you for participation in some activity in class, a discussion or whatever else, and you're not prepared and ready to just jump up and do it, then you will receive half a demerit for failure to participate. I will give you 3 free demerits for the entire semester that will not have any impact on your grade. However, after that, each demerit beyond the first 3 costs you 5 points out of the 20 points. So it's a half a letter grade at that point. Now, I do that because this is a big deal for me. I do understand that things happen and sometimes it's unavoidable, and that's what the forgiveness on a few of these demerits are. But at some point, you have to be ready to participate. The overall grading for the course, 30% of the grade is going to be tied to the 3 quizzes related to discussion prompts. 50% of your grade is going to be tied to the combination of the CAP-SIM and COMPEX-SIM activities, and 20% to class participation. And so that weighting should give you some idea of both, in my view, both the time commitment it takes for you in each of those, but also how they relate to where I think you're going to get benefit out of the class. The last thing that I will say on that, I mean, the syllabus covers this, but basically from a grading standpoint, I have assigned points for everything. If you get all the points, that should total to 100 points. And I grade on that 100-point scale. And so if you get anywhere from 90 to 100 points, you got an A. 80 to 89 points a B, 70 to 79 points a C, 60 to 69 points a D. Anything under 60 points is an F. I weight and sum up all of your points at the end, and then I can do a rounding. And so I round to the nearest integer. So if you have an 89.4, you have an 89, and that's a B. If you have an 89.5, you have a 90, and that's an A. And that's the way I approach it. And it's not on an individual assignment or grade basis, it's on your total grade. We have two learning management systems on campus, Moodle and Blackboard. I will be utilizing Blackboard for this course. It is essential that you go on Blackboard immediately and see what's posted there, and that you check it regularly, where I will be posting what preparations you're supposed to make for each class and provide you the resources and the guidance for that. Ultimately, that becomes the communication tool between us, for you to prepare for class. If you have problems getting on Blackboard or are not able to access this particular course or see it, or you can't find the information, let me know. Generally speaking, I believe, and this is for most of my classes, the easiest way to find stuff on your Blackboard page will be that over on the left-hand side of the page there is a menu when you go into the particular class, so this particular course, and at the top of that menu I think I've got a home page. Sometimes I'll post announcements for that or not. I don't find that page very useful. I have a My Information page which has my contact information if you want to get a hold of me, and I do believe my cell phone contact is in there, so you can use it. You can use that to get my cell phone if you want it. And then the information specifically about the class is in a student section under something called content. And so what you'll want to do is click on that content menu item, and that will show you everything that you need. Anyway, that's it. If after watching or seeing all of this, hearing all of this, you still can't find what you need to get ready for class, then be sure and email me as soon as possible, so that I can make sure that you have everything you need to get ready. I look forward to seeing you guys first day of class.